We're back.
We back.
I don't know what episode this is. Probably like at 70 something, I think. Probably like 75. That's my guess. We'll see.
Unfortunately, this is not a stat I know off the top of my head.
Yeah, me neither. We'll see. Uh, Leave a like, subscribe. We're so close to the end of this series and the end of the world, basically. As let's just do it. Let's just do it. Start show. Uh, Adam Cole comes out saying, "We're done playing around. We've played nice all year, and guess what? We still took over this brand. We are done playing with our food. Total domination is coming next. After WrestleMania, we take over every single brand in this company's umbrella. Hell, maybe we even go to places TKO doesn't own. I'm talking about you, TNA. I'm talking about you, New Japan. Hell, maybe I even go to AEW and take down whoever they got over there. We took out Shin, we took out JD, so Finn, you're on your own. We know this isn't going to end well, and you know it too. So please, for your own health, just give up. Throw in the towel. This is a foregone conclusion. If you give up now, then you might not get sent to the grave in 3 weeks. And I want to enjoy this. So this is the challenge I'm laying down for you. If you don't give up, I want a no disqualifications match. Accept it or have the world see you as the coward you are. That's when Finn's music hits. Oh, you're feeling brave, aren't you? Fine, you want no DQ? Then you got it. But me and you, we both know you're wrong, Cole. I see now why I'm going to win and why you're going to lose. You fight for power? To be the best? To conquer? You're fighting for nothing. I'm fighting for Shin, for JD, for Mello, for Roxanne, for my family. The ones who used to be your family. Every punch I'm gonna throw is going to have the entire weight of everyone I'm fighting for behind it. You're gonna feel them in every punch, kick, and slam I throw at you. Your punches have nothing behind them except your own strength. You only value strength and nothing else. You think only the strong deserve to be here. You see every promotion and their roster as just people waiting to be conquered. You think the titles you win, you think the more titles you win, the more successful you'll be. You thought you were keeping this brand alive, making us the number one show in this company. But the truth is, you were just holding us back. Under your leadership, the Undisputed Era stood for nothing. They fought for nothing. And just like you, look at what the people look at what my people became under my leadership. Look at how they transformed. You don't see it. You won't let yourself see it, but it's there. Cole then brings the mic to his mouth and says, "Wow, that was beautiful. Could bring a tear to a man. Could bring a man to tears. This isn't a movie, Finn. This is real life. Survival of the fittest is a real thing. And buddy, you should have thought about that before coming out here." As he says that, we see the rest of the Undisputed Era come out from behind Finn. Finn turns around, looks at them, and says, "Let's do this." He takes the mic and throws it right at Roddy's head. He sprints at Kyle and hits him with a shotgun dropkick. Bobby tries to put him in a sleeper. Finn gets out of it and hits a double stomp onto a downed fish. Roddy then comes up from behind and quickly hits Finn with a backbreaker. Kyle then gets up and starts beating him down. Then Fish joins in. This whole time, Cole has been slowly walking to them. And when he gets there, when Finn is being held down by all three of them, he gets his mic and says, "Finn, I've walked through the depths of hell before. This is gonna be easy for me. I want you to remember that I gave you a chance to just run away. He grabs the mic and hits Finn over the head with it. And then he super kicks him. The Undisputed Era pose in front of him, and then they head to the back. And then we get this match, tag qualifiers match for the ladder match at WrestleMania. Imperium continue to show that they seem to be on the same page after a horrible showing at Bash in Berlin as they pick up the victory. Backstage, Rox is chilling, looking for her locker room when Rhea comes in and absolutely launches her into a brick wall. Rhea then gets her up and hits a riptide onto her. She then throws Rox into a mirror. Rox is busted open. Rhea yells at her, saying, "Are you ready for WrestleMania yet, bitch?" She then hits her with one more riptide before leaving. Rox is having trouble getting up. She's grabbing her ribs when the medics comes in. When the medics come in, and Rox can be heard saying, "Where is Bailey?" Then we get this match, Intercontinental Championship qualifier match for WrestleMania. Santos wins. Uh, then Finn is backstage after being attacked. He's in the trainer's room getting looked after, and so is Roxanne. He's comforting her when Mello walks in and says, "Are you two good? I saw what happened. How the hell did this happen to both of you?" "Well, I was out there alone, and it's the Undisputed Era. It was dumb of me to think. It was dumb of me, but I did it anyways. I was just looking for my locker room when that bitch attacked me." "Well, what's the next step for you two?" "I have to look for some people," says Roxanne. "Well, I don't know what I'm going to do, Mello. I'm going to ask you again. Is there any way you can help out here, man?" "I'm sorry. I can't. I told you already. I just wanted to come check in on you guys." "Mello, please. I can't do this alone." "Finn, I did it alone. Well, I guess I had Shin. But I'm telling you, this Roman Punk thing is my number one priority. You're going to go to WrestleMania, and you're going to beat Adam Cole. But just know that when you do, I'll be waiting on the other side, waiting to take that title off of you." Finn smiles and says, "I wouldn't have it any other way." That's when Mello says, "But I can give you a piece of advice if you want it." "Sure, lay it on me." "Finn, you should know this better than anyone. Sometimes you just gotta let your demons out. I'll see you later." Mello leaves. Finn's eyes widen as he realizes what Mello told him. He looks at Rox. She gets up and says, "He's not wrong. You know what you gotta do, man." She gives him a side hug and says, "All right, I gotta go take care of some business. See you later." Uh, then we get this match, Chelsea versus Michin. Chelsea yells at Piper to give her a chair. Piper can't really hear her, so it takes a while for her to get it. When she finally does, Chelsea turns around. She gets hit with an eat defeat. The Michin covers. 1, 2, 3. Michin beats Chelsea. After the match, Chelsea is yelling at Piper for not getting the chair faster. After weeks of getting blamed for all their shortcomings, Piper finally snaps and punches Chelsea. Chelsea falls to the floor and looks shocked. She gets back up. Piper lifts her and hits her with a power slam. Then she leaves the ring. Naya then enters my office and says she's glad that I came to my senses and finally made a match between her and Becky. She's going to show the world that the man is a fraud and that it was her greatest mistake to break Becky's nose on that day in 2018. Uh, then Rox is seen walking when she gets to a door and knocks on it. It's opened by Lola Vice. She says, "Rox, it's good to see you. Come on in." Rox comes in and Bailey sees her and says, "Oh, hey, what's up?" "Well, you might have been right." "About what?" At this rate, I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to make it to WrestleMania. And I still have a match with Julia tonight. As much as it hurts to say it, I need backup. Oh, so you're going to join us then? Don't get carried away there. Let's call it a trial phase. I'll see if you guys really do make my life easier for the next couple of weeks. I see. You're not sure we're capable, but I assure you that we are. After all, you're talking to the best of the Force horsewomen. Look, we'll see how the next couple of weeks go. For now, just have my back. Make sure I don't get jumped again. All right, fine. You can stay here until your match tonight. Thank you, Rock says as the segment ends. We then cut to Oba walking backstage when he runs into Roddy and tells him, "Last time I faced you for that title, Theory got in my way of winning it. I won't allow him to mess this up for me again." And on cue, Theory walks in and says, Did I hear someone say my name? Roddy, Oba. I'll be seeing you two at Mania, where I'm going to be taking that title off of you, Roddy. Not Oba. Uh, don't let him fill your head with nonsense. Don't be so sure about that, we hear Pete Dunne say off screen as he walks in a frame. I'm the only one here who has beat Roddy, and I plan to do it again. And I will become a two-time Intercontinental Champion. Listen, you all can want a title shot. That's fine. Just know that I will win regardless. I'm going to cash out so damn much for this. Good luck, losers. This is my title, and this is my brand. See ya later, punks. Roddy leaves. Then we get a Stephanie promo backstage saying that Jordan brought this upon herself. Jordan brought that upon herself. She had the woman's title won, and Jordan got in her way. So as long as she's around, she'll make sure she never wins anything. And she accepts Jordan's challenge for a match at WrestleMania. Then I come out and say, over the past few weeks, oh shit, I skipped over the fucking match. I skipped over this match. It was supposed to happen already. uh, Bailey Bianca and Jada versus Bailey and Lola. Bailey is able to roll up Jada for the win. Shocker. Upset. All right. Then I come out and say, over the past few weeks, a certain three men have been doing ridiculous things to each other and making my life hell. So let's bring them all out. Then one by one, Mello and Roman come out. And as they all come out, Roman, Punk, and Mello. As they all come out, we see that they are all handcuffed around their arms and legs. I say this was just a precautionary measure. I had to make sure things didn't go off the rails again. So, fellas, you have been at each other's throats for far too long. And at this point, the people need to see this match. So, let's make it official. We're going to get Roman Reigns versus Carmelo Hayes versus CM Punk at WrestleMania. The crowd pops, and I continue. This is the contract. I need all three of you to sign it. I pass it out. All three of them sign, and we get just a face off. Everyone's just looking at each other. Mexican standoff. Segment ends. Then Bianca and Jada find me as I'm walking back to my office, and they tell me they want a rematch against Bailey and Lola. They think that it was a bogus way to end the match, and and that they are better than that. I say, fine, you can have another match next week. Main event time. Roxanne comes into this match hurt, but she's still bringing the fight to Julia. Towards the end of the match, Roxanne is about to go for a pop rocks when Rhea's music hits. Rhea starts marching her way down to the ring. Rox is looking around scared. When Bailey, Lola, and Stephanie come in and start beating down on Rhea, Rox smiles. But then out of the crowd comes Jordan Grace. Jordan goes straight for Stephanie. They fight to the backs. Rox turns around. She's hit with a spinning back fist. Julia then gets her up and hits her with a Northern Lights bomb cover. One, two, three. Julia pins Roxanne Perez in their first ever one-on-one match. Julia then runs out through the crowd as Bailey and Lola rush into the ring. They start looking after Rox, asking her if she's okay, and then Lola gives Rox her title as we end the show.
Alrighty. Welcome to SmackDown. This is the April Week 2 episode. We are just a few weeks away from WrestleMania. Uh, you heard all this stuff at the start of the video. Like, subscribe, comment down below, hype the video. Let's just get into SmackDown tonight. The show opens with the announcers introducing everyone and seeing superstars enter the arena. The final person we see is Ricky Saints. He is walking in style with his US title over his shoulder. He then gets confronted by Solo Sikoa and Bloodline Wolfpack. Solo says, Ricky, you know you're going to have to pay for how you beat Jacob, right? Hopefully you didn't think we just moved past it, like you didn't take the easy way out. Ricky says once he gets through Malachi, feel free to step back up and lose yet again. He goes to walk past but gets held back by Solo. Cody Rhodes then walks up and eases tensions as Ricky enters the show, and then we see him make his entrance down to the ring for his US title match against Malachi Black. Ricky Saints retains his US title. AJ Styles is backstage and comes across Sami Zayn. Sami doesn't seem pleased, and AJ tries to give him some words of advice. Sami says, "AJ, I don't want advice from you." AJ says, "Well, Sami, I'm going to give it to you anyways." Before he can even speak, Sami cuts him off and says, "AJ, don't treat me like an abused puppy. I'm a former world heavyweight champion in my own right, and I know what I'm doing with Seth, and you need to focus on Kevin because I don't think you're taking him as seriously as you should. The prize fighter moniker isn't just a nickname, it is who he is. When something is on the line, he steps up his game. He stops pulling his punches and he will do absolutely anything to obtain the prize. So how about you leave me alone and figure out how you're going to beat Kevin Owens?" Sami then storms off. We then see New Day go into Big E's office and speak about the tag titles. Kofi says, "You know, these past few weeks we have seen the tag division face one another, and we're thinking we should be in the mix." Big E says, "Guys, just be clear with what you want." What says E, "We want a match against the Lucha Bros." Penta and Ray Phoenix then walk into the room. Penta says, "If you wanted a match, all you had to do was ask. You don't need to run to Big E." Kofi says, "Well, do we have our match then?" Big E says, "Sure, you get your match, but the only time slot I have open is right now, so if you want it, then head down to the ring." Both teams do so. We then see Lucha Bros take on the New Day, in which the New Day pick up the win. Cora Jade then has a sit-down interview about WrestleMania and facing Mercedes Moné one more time. Cora says, "Look, I've had quite the great past 2 years here on SmackDown. I have been surrounded by great mentors, and I have beaten some of the best women and I have beaten some of the best that women's wrestling has to offer. Not just by how Not just now, by Jesus Christ, how did I write this? Uh, Not just some of the best women of now, by the way, some of the best women's wrestlers of all time. I think I'm going into this match. I just need to get out of my own way. When I first faced Mercedes, I came in with so much arrogance that I blinded myself into not understanding the quality of the opponent she was. Then we faced not too long ago on SmackDown, and I felt like I had started to figure out Mercedes a bit more. But in the end, I think those butterflies came back and I just fumbled the win. So we are now just a couple of weeks away from WrestleMania, and I think for the first time I have confidence in myself that I can finally beat Mercedes and get back to being the women's champion. Michael Cole thanks Cora for her time, and then we cut to commercial. We come back, and Biggie comes up to Asuka backstage and asks, "What was that last week?" Asuka says, "What? You said all you said was not to get involved in the match, and I didn't. You never said anything about after the match." Biggie just sighs and says, "Well, because of your attack, I've decided to put you in a match this week against Kairi Sane again. Hopefully this time, the two of you can get it all out of your system." We then head down to the ring for Asuka versus Kairi Sane. Um, The match sees that Kairi Sane picks up the shock win over Asuka. And then after the match, Kairi is seated next to Asuka on the ground when Io comes crashing down with an over the moonsault. As Io gets up, she gets rushed by Dakota, who hits Io with a chiropractor. As she gets up, Asuka gets behind her and locks her into the Asuka lock. Dakota taps and Asuka discards her to the side and stands tall over all three women. We then see Ricky Saints walking around backstage when he gets confronted by Trick Williams. Trick just looks at Ricky and says, "I got next," and walks away. Lyra Valkyria is backstage when she gets confronted by Chemical X and Charlotte. Charlotte says, "Lyra, I know you tried your best to screw us over, but now things are back to normal and I will be getting my women's IC title back at WrestleMania. But that is enough about me. I think there is someone here who you need to apologize to." Lyra then looks to Tatum and says, "You know me. You know I would never do anything to hurt you." Tatum just shakes her head at Lyra and says, "I want you in that ring right now." Lyra says, "Come on, Tatum, you don't want to do this." Tatum says nothing and just storms off towards the ring. Then have Lyra Valkyria versus Tatum Paxley. Lyra Valkyria picks up the win. After Lyra beats Tatum, she seems apologetic that she had to beat her. Uh, and Tatum just shoves Lyra to the side and walks off to the back. Drew McIntyre then confronts Swerve backstage about the cheap shot after the match last week. Swerve says, "Drew, I told you already, I don't like you. We handled our business and picked up the win. Afterwards, all was fair game. You weren't paying attention, and I saw the chance to make a statement to not only you, but to all of SmackDown." Drew says, "How about instead of attacking me from behind, we go out there and we wrestle and you wrestle me straight up. Then we can see who is sending a message to who." Swerve just laughs and says, "Prepare to end up staring at the lights again." And they head down to the ring for the main event, Drew McIntyre versus Swerve Strickland. Towards the end of the match, we see Seth Rollins come down to the ring and distract Swerve. As Swerve is arguing with Seth, Sammy sneaks in a haluva kick Swerve. Sammy then turns around into a claymore from Drew McIntyre. Drew gets down and starts yelling at Sammy for costing him the match. As he is down, Seth comes in and curb stomps Drew. Uh, with Sammy attacking Swerve, Swerve picks up the win via disqualification. The show ends with Seth Rollins standing tall over everyone. And that is SmackDown.